The potential of artificial intelligence is huge, it's unlimited, and it's not only going to be physical assistance that it will be able to help with, but it will also be able to help with your emotional health by giving you solutions as well. But there's one thing it's not going to be able to do. It's not going to be human connection. It's not going to be your intuition. It's not going to be you using your discernment. Hello and welcome to the James Granstrom podcast, Super Soul Model Series, where I help you tune and tap in to your natural state of well-being. In this episode, I'm going to share with you an exciting topic, and that's AI and your well-being, the future of a happier, healthier you. AI is revolutionizing industries, and not just the tech industries. It's going to revolutionize pretty much every industry, and one of them that's at the heart of something that's important to me is healthcare and well-being. In particular, your well-being. At the moment, AI is currently on your phone, on your smartphone, and it's currently in our homes in things like smart home devices. And whilst it's already subtly in our lives and in your environment, what's happening is it's about to expand, it's about to explode, and it's about to get even bigger and more prominent in our day-to-day lives. And so in this episode, what I want to share with you is how to use it wisely, how to see it for what it is, which is a tool. And if we become too dependent upon artificial intelligence, we miss the most important thing, which is our ability to use our own discernment and use our intuition. And AI is fantastic. It's going to have some incredible things that are going to help us and so many people in different industries. Yet also we need to know that to keep a balance, and balance is basically what my message is all about, because when we find personal balance in our well-being, emotional balance, spiritual balance, healthy balance, financial balance, physical balance, we really begin to thrive. And that's when you tap into your natural state of energy. And whilst there are many tools and things available to gain information at our fingertips, just like AI will be able to give us, if we rely on it solely for connection, then that's when the challenge begins. But in this episode, what I want to do is share with you what AI will do for a future of a happier, healthier you, and how it will help you. One of the things that will always help us is to learn from our mistakes of the past so that we can use those mistakes and make better choices. This is like using discernment, and this is a massive spiritual law. And I love to look back at ancient civilizations of things where people have been very successful, or even business leaders or companies that have been very successful, and looking to see what their strategies have been. And when we need to understand ourselves as a human species, and knowing where we are and where we can go as a possibility, and when we're talking about things like artificial intelligence, we're sort of tapering on an understanding of something we don't know what could happen and where we would go using this type of intelligence, this type of technology. But one thing I like to relate back to is an ancient civilization called Atlantis, and it's not often talked about. It was talked about by Plato and Socrates, and later passed down into more recent people like Edgar Cayce and Shirley MacLaine, and more recently Matthias de Stefano. And in my own study of Atlantis, I discovered that this civilization was a highly evolved society where people's minds and hearts were open, which sounds amazing. And being a highly advanced civilization must be because the consciousness of the people were really high. But at the same time as the Atlanteans were highly evolved, they were technologically evolved as well, which became phenomenal. Yet, to their detriment, this is what some of the ancient texts and readings have said, is that their technological advancement got them out of balance, in which case there was a cataclysmic event which made the Atlantis civilization crumble. And that could have been an earthquake. It could have been using technology to such a way that it actually created a cataclysmic event. So what can we learn from this past civilization that's been written about? We can learn that if we can use technology in balance along with being evolved human beings, conscious spiritual beings using our mind, body and soul in such a way, then we will enjoy what is known as this golden era, which we're embarking on now. And this could be a phenomenal option for us to use technology in such a way that we use it as a tool rather than an absolute necessity for everything. And that's where the story of Atlantis ended, because they used its technology way too much and depended on it and used it as a power struggle instead of using it as a tool to help humanity. So this is where we're talking about, this is where we're going to in this particular episode. We're going to talk about using artificial intelligence to our advantage and for what it is, which is a tool, not as a be-all and end-all for everything. So what will AI do that will enhance your personal happiness, health and well-being? Well, number one, it's going to give you personal health recommendations. It could track your heartbeat, it could track your heart health, it could track your fitness. Some of these things it's doing to a certain extent already, but it will do it in more detail, giving you statistics and information, and even being able to tell you what you need to do. So giving you feedback about certain things, which could become incredibly enlightening if you don't know, and it could give you signals to tell you if there's something that you need to do. This is really interesting. It could also give you indications how to enhance your sleep quality and use apps like things like Sleep Cycle to even greater advantage than perhaps you're even doing right now. So these health apps, AI will recommend to you and be able to say, why don't you try this to enhance your personal well-being? Sounds fantastic, because it seems like the AI will act like an aid, as an assistant to always be there for you, like a virtual assistant, so to speak. And it will also help you with things like mental programs and mental apps that will assist you if you're finding yourself dipping in mood. This becomes really interesting, which takes me into number two. It will assist you with your mental health support. There'll be AI chatbots, things like Wobot and Wiser will be offering mental support, live virtual chats. If people are suffering from any form of depression or anxiety, you'll be able to have a relationship where you'll be able to have virtual feedback to be able to say, what's the problem? And this could be a solution. It will be able to help track your mood, to tell you what you need to do if your mood's dipping. It will be able to even give you cognitive behavioral training, which is super exciting, and stress management. So artificial intelligence could really step in to tell you what to do if your mood's dipping. And then there'll be artificial intelligence in therapy, and AI will analyze your emotional state through your facial expressions and through your eyes. Can you believe that? That's amazing. And even your voice pattern. And then number three, it will be able to help you with stress reduction. So if you find yourself in a stressful environment or you're feeling anxious, AI will intervene and offer you apps like Calm or Headspace to help find where you're at emotionally, and then offer you solutions to help you enhance your mood. That's very powerful when people often don't know what to do. But the AI will be able to understand where your mood's at, because it will notice your facial patterns, it will notice your voice, it will notice perhaps even your heartbeat beating too fast. This is what AI will be able to detect, and it's pretty stimulating, pretty interesting. But to a certain extent, it might seem invasive, but if it's coming from a place where you programmed it to be able to assist you, then it could be a really good thing. And then the predictive AI will be able to identify the stress within you, and it could detect if you're experiencing any burnout. It will know by the amount of work hours you've been doing, or screen time you've been having, or social media time you've been having. AI will be able to predict what's going on in your life and give you solutions based upon how you're using your energy on a day-to-day basis. So AI will help you identify any challenges that you've got based upon the algorithms for the amount of work that you're doing or the amount of screen time you have. It will just literally know what's going on in your body, what's going on through your mood, through your heart rate, through your blood pressure. It will be able to know all of these things and give you feedback, which is pretty amazing. And also AI could help increase your well-being by helping improve the quality of your sleep with, like I mentioned before, with apps like Sleep Cycle, but even better so, with smart home devices. It could cool the room, it could darken the room, it could put on soothing music before you go to sleep, so you really enhance your state of well-being, so you get the best possible night's sleep. It could even cool your bed if you live in a hot country. I know that people often use cooler mattresses now to regulate temperatures, because when you're cooler at night, you sleep deeper. And then when your sleeping patterns are better and they're more regulated, then you're going to find yourself really enjoying a greater quality of sleep. The next thing that AI will be able to do, which is my all-time favorite, is managing chronic conditions. This is really powerful. And whilst I've seen a lot of the other things that AI have done through science fiction movies and futuristic movies, I really like this one, because AI can help in diagnosis. It can help in challenging moments. If someone falls prey to an injury or if there's an issue, AI will be able to assist in like trauma incidents in the moment. And it could assist doctors about quicker diagnosis for challenges in the moment that present themselves when someone is suffering from something or other. And I find this really, really interesting, because it's going to provide immediate data and immediate solutions about what to do in the moment. I remember reading an article about a doctor who would use ChatGPT to be able to give a certain diagnosis where he didn't need to read like a book that would take him 5 days to read. He could just know in the next 10 minutes, and that was fascinating. So just think what artificial intelligence will do for the doctors when they're trying to get to faster diagnoses, which will save lives. This is why I like this. And it could be able to do personal alerts for medications and helping with physical therapies, and even sort of monitoring things like diabetes, automating that to such an extent that it will be able to help save lives, and particularly young children who might be suffering from chronic conditions like diabetes as well. You know, being able to have artificial intelligence will be phenomenal for things like this. And, you know, what if artificial intelligence could also tell a woman in a cycle, this is the best time for being able to conceive a child? You know, there are certain apps that are already doing this, but AI will take this to another level. The next thing that AI will be able to do is create a social and virtual connection, or a virtual companionship. Artificial intelligence, or using AI bots in offering companionship to people who are really isolated, who might be on an island and don't get to speak to someone because they work in a lighthouse. Or it might be an elderly person who's really lives far away from, you know, the nearest town, or can't get there because they can't drive. So having people around or someone to talk to can be very uplifting. And things like HAL in 2001: A Space Odyssey, which was like directed and made over 60 years ago, was just seeing the future of humanity through artificial intelligence being able to talk to us, because we all need connection. And just imagine what this could do for the elderly and lonely and people who are isolated. It could create a sense of well-being, but also to a certain extent it is artificial, but we all need to connect in one way or another. Which takes me on to the next thing, is it will be able to help us connect with more like-minded people when we put ourselves into that forum saying, hey, do you want to speak to this person who's available now? And when we see artificial intelligence come to life like this, this could be really interesting. The next thing artificial intelligence may be able to do to assist your well-being going forwards is create virtual companionship. You know, that people feel lonely, and when we are able to develop a sense of connection, we feel loved, we feel heard, we feel at some level seen. And that's really important for the human species that we are, because we all want to feel loved, we all want to feel seen, and we all want to feel heard. And when there's isolation, it's one of the greatest absences that we can have as human beings. So it's really important that we learn to connect, so AI may be able to offer solutions to the elderly there and the lonely. What if AI actually helps bring people together rather than separates them? This is a question that I have. And last but not least, AI could really help improve the quality of your life by assisting you with wellness coaching. It could offer you personal artificial intelligence coaching, like tools like wellness apps, wellness reports, coaching for motivation, inspiring, helping you set goals. Are you achieving your goals? Always sort of giving you like reference checkups and check-ins, which you may or may not like. But it will also give you mental and physical and emotional health and feedback and tools that may be able to assist you. And it will also be able to help you with behavioral artificial intelligence insights, helping people track their habits and helping them make better conscious decisions. So the potential of artificial intelligence is huge, it's unlimited. And it's not only going to be physical assistance that it will be able to help with, but it will also be able to help with your emotional health by giving you solutions as well. But there's one thing it's not going to be able to do. It's not going to be human connection. It's not going to be your intuition. It's not going to be you using your discernment. All of these things come from within. And in my personal opinion, I really am a fan of artificial intelligence. However, when we use it for what it is, which is a tool for the mind to give us solutions and information that we need in the moment. Until we recognize that everything we need has been given to us in this amazing physical form, and that as we learn to tune ourselves to higher levels of understanding, higher levels of self-development, meaning we're taking exercise, great nutrition, taking time to relax, taking time to spend time in nature, taking time to be part of a community and assist. This is what lights people up. And these are where the blue zones of people who live to way over 100 all have these common denominators. They live in communities, they have meaningful work, they have meaningful relationships. And the health and their well-being is because they have purpose, they have meaningful relationships. And they're taking care of mixing with both the young, middle-aged and old all together. This is how we thrive when we are living in this beautiful harmony of Mother Nature and helping other human beings as well. And I always like to point back to that story I was talking about, Atlantis, which was, whilst that civilization was considered advanced by old scholars like Socrates and Plato, they eventually created their own downfall because they relied too heavily on technology. And we need to find a balance between using technology and having our own discernment, because when we have our own discernment, we're activating that spiritual law to find what is best for us. And what's best for you may be different for what's best for somebody else. But ultimately, our free will and making our own choices is where we feel empowered. And by me sharing this information, I'm sharing with you that when you use the internet or your apps or your trackers or your smart home devices, yes, they're fun. Yes, they make your life more convenient. Yes, they're super helpful. I'm a big fan of things like Shazam and being able to track a song I really like and have it play down. But what I really love to do is to go outside in nature and feel inspired and feel in tune with my body when my body's giving me feedback about what I need next. Or when I learn to sit in silence in meditation, I'm able to sit there and literally feel such ease and relaxation in my body that no app will ever do that for me, but silence does that for me. So let's just find a lovely balance, and I'll be very interested to hear what you've got to say about it. So feel free to write in and share what your thoughts are about this subject, because a lot of people have fear and anxiety thinking about this subject, thinking that they've got no control. But the fact of the matter is, you will have control about what you set up, what your settings are. You know, even for me, I have all my alerts taken off. I don't want to know my alerts. I don't want to be reactive to the next email that comes in or the next message that comes in. So all those sounds and beeps, I turn off because I don't need my mind inundated with new information. I'm trying to find my own peace. And when I'm good and ready, that's when I look at my emails, when I look at my texts. And it may seem irresponsible to quite a few people, but quite in fact, it actually gives me peace for me to make my own choice. And that's what you will be able to do when you program artificial intelligence in your home. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this episode. I hope it's inspired you and enlightened you to recognize that the power is always within your hand. And when you start listening to the voice within, using your discernment, life gets way better. And you start to find your own inner harmony, your inner peace, and your own balance. If you've enjoyed, please remember to give it a like, subscribe, and share. And thank you so much for all of your support. Really appreciate it. And until the next episode, I wish you a wonderful week ahead and green lights all the way.